Smiling all the way to the bank, the Dirty Dozen, Doomsday around the corner. We ain't no Holland back, girl. Gun control, no mo. Oh, yeah. There's trailers, A Harbor of Tears, Streamin' Hot Chicken, Pinguino Minuto, The Witching Hour, and so much more. But before that, news dump. Mac, we are at Idle Hands, 809 Commercial Street in Malden, Massachusetts, this week, 7 p.m. Wednesday night for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia trivia.
Yeah, first time we're dabbling in Always Sunny. You know, we're hitting all the hot commodities here and there, and so I'm looking forward to this one. It is a show that is going to be interesting to ask trivia questions about. That's for sure, because it's unlike any other show that's ever been on television.
Just know this. Mac goes for gasps. And I'm not just talking about this guy across the way. Ronald McDonald as well. That's probably one of the trivia questions. What's Mac's first name?
I like that.
Ronald. I just thought of it. Write it down in the Google Doc.
There's a nice one-pointer for the folks.
News dump. The weekend box office, Smile 2 opened domestically at $23 million. That's a little bit, so it was forecasted 20 to 40 million, so not as great as what they thought, but very good reviews. It also surpassed the first one, 46 million worldwide. The Wild Robot, which is also now streaming as well, that made 10 million at the box office, approaching 200 million overall. Terrifier 3 drops to third at $9.3 million, but that's not bad. I think the budget on that movie is $15. Beetlejuice finished fourth in its 100th weekend at the box office, $5 million. We Live in Time finished fifth, $4.5 million. This was its first wide release weekend, and Joker, Fale Hadu, sixth.
Yep. We got to be nearing the end of the Joker theatrical run. We know it's coming to digital in a week or two.
Yes.
It's not even going to get to 250 million. Never mind the 500 that we agreed upon. So that's a tough one for old Goo there.
Yeah. What are you going to do for the podcast? You're going to torture me?
You and I both watched The Wild Robot in this past week and enjoyed it quite a bit. It's a great movie. There's no pulling punches here. It's a great movie. I think it perfectly plays to an adult audience and a child audience. I think it's pretty cool animation, really cool story. So that's going to keep making money, even though it is digitally streaming now. And we also saw a movie, Goo, this past week called The Substance, which we should be talking about at the end of this week. And it's a movie. I'll tell you that.
Tell you what, it is sticking with me.
It is a fucking movie. It's one of the more memorable movies we've seen in a long time.
It is in your face, and it does not care. And I appreciate that.
TNA.
What is opening this weekend? You didn't write that down.
Venom.
Oh, Venom. That's right. Venom's opening this weekend.
Yeah.
I think it's actually forecasting pretty well.
Are you going to hit the screening that I will not be able to make?
I am, yes.
Okay. Yep. So that will probably be our Goose Day episode, because I don't think I'm going to be able to see it until Friday.
Yeah, we'll do Goose Day, and then we'll do a real spooky news dump.
Ooh, spooktacular.
Yeah. News dump. Transformers 1 is now available digitally. It made 119 domestic in its theatrical run.
Yeah, I was curious about how much money it cost to make that movie. The production costs were about $75 million, and so I guess maybe double that to get the marketing cost as well to about 140, 150. So it could stand to lose a couple bucks, but it is still going to make money
and a couple
digitally.
Pounds.
And it is still getting reviewed well, so that might end up having a break-even point. But you ended up being right about that. It didn't do as well as it should have based on all the metrics and everything everyone was saying about the movie.
News dump. Deadpool and Wolverine has become the 12th highest grossing film of all time domestically, passing Barbie. It is only 16 million behind Inside Out 2 for 11th. I'm not sure if it'll reach that.
Yep. And Inside Out 2 is only like 1 million behind the 10th place one, which the movie escapes me. But that's two 2024 releases that have entered the top 12 of all time, which is, I mean, maybe somewhat foreseeable for Deadpool and Wolverine, but the Inside Out 2 is still mind-boggling.
Movies are back. I actually, up until this past weekend, I was saying to myself, are movies not back?
It's been a pretty mid-year.
But then, after watching The Wild Robot and The Substance, I said, are movies back?
I think the two movies. Well, I actually watched a bunch of movies last week, but those two movies we've now referenced a couple times, I think are two of the 4 best movies I've seen this year, which is unbelievable.
News dump. Avengers Doomsday will begin filming in spring, and I believe it's filming back-to-back with its sequel, correct?
I wouldn't be surprised if
I believe
that's
it is.
the case.
That's what I think I read on Culture Fave.
The only issue with that, if that is the case, is that's a long time for leaks to come out on the internet, and the internet's a leaky fucking
It didn't happen with Endgame.
They didn't film them back-to-back, though.
Yes, they did.
I don't think they did.
They came out a year after. Yeah, they filmed back-to-back.
Not in the way I'm talking about, like Matrix Revolutions and Matrix whatever the other name one is. Like they filmed concurrently, I guess is what I'm talking about.
They're gonna film them back-to-back. Like that Drake song. Or like when you had Albert Bell and Frank Thomas batting.
Sure. Or Paul Konerko and Frank Thomas.
Can you tell me a better
Albert Bell
combo?
I mean,
Albert Bell. Let's not look too far. Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz, but go ahead.
Why would you reference Albert Bell on the White Sox? Did he do like a year and a half on the White Sox?
I don't know. It just came to me.
You could have gone. Did Chip Tomey play for the White Sox too?
To answer all of your questions, I'm going to put this back on my shirt.
I love how that desk is so infrequently used that it's been sitting there for a full week.
I'm the only one. News dump. Hitting the D+ on March 4th, Daredevil Born Again. I read that we'll be getting 9 episodes. And did you see the trailer that was shot on someone's phone?
No, I wasn't aware it existed.
I saw it.
Any good?
I would like to see a real trailer.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
This is obviously a date is encouraging as well, but the news here is 9 episodes as opposed to the 18 or fucking 24 that they had originally in the first iteration of this show. So it seems like they're listening to the fans and giving us what we want.
Back when I did The Nanny, I did 23 episodes a season. Why aren't shows doing this anymore?
You know what's weird to look back at, and it went away by like the end of the 2000s, early 2010s. But watching, like going back and looking at IMDb of like Friends, and it's like 23, 26. It wasn't even like a set number. It was just, you'd get into the 20s and then, you end it when you feel like it.
Whatever you could jam in there. That actually really was funny during the writer's strike. Or no, it was during the actor's strike, sorry, because it's Fran Dresser. But she was like, hey, when I did The Nanny, we did a lot of episodes. Yeah, we know, Fran. That also makes me think of something that I cannot remember anymore.
Don't talk about your fucking fearless leader like that. Your SAG captain.
She is my queen. Dresser. She is my queen. But also, so the trailer, I think this has already been leaked on social media, but it's Murdoch and Kingpin sitting at a diner and talking. And Murdoch is like, I'm going to be right behind you. And if you step out of line, I'm going to take you down. And then Kingpin says, is this Murdoch talking to me or your friend? Daredevil.
Is Kingpin still running for mayor in this iteration of the show?
He only has one eye, and he's always talking about Echo. He's like, where's Echo right now? I haven't seen Echo anywhere. Daredevil, do you know where Echo is?
Show. Was that this year?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I know it's going to win that award.
News dump. Tom Holland, we got some news over here. First and foremost, he has been cast in the new Christopher Nolan movie. That'll be an espionage genre film. He also said that while reading the script for Spider-Man 4 with Zendaya, it lit a fire under him.
That's another movie I watched in the last week, which was tremendously, I still don't, both underwhelming and somewhat good. Weird movie.
Wasn't sexy enough. Challengers, by the way.
Yeah. This is the Matt Damon, right? Matt Damon.
Yeah, Matt Damon.
Cast to star along Matt Damon. Christopher Nolan, Tom Holland. Who's not going to like that? I think it's obvious that the MCU is going to get to Miles Morales at some point. The question...
I haven't brought that up yet, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I thought you said that already.
No, I said the thing that he read the scripts with Zendaya.
Oh,
but you were so quick to, jump on and protect your queen that that you didn't listen to it.
So I've got a war for her, Gil.
The other piece of news is that he wants to bring Miles Morales into the MCU, saying, I would love to do that for a young kid what Robert Downey Jr. did for me.
Yeah, I think it's obvious that they're going to get there.
Mm.
The issue will be by the time we get there, will the MCU be viable?
I
Nah,
saw a
me.
good joke on social media. Someone said, I bet RDJ plays Miles Morales. Woo! Smoked him.
Michael B. Jordan as Miles Morales, who's now older than Tom Holland.
News dump. Gunn was a cousin saying that
R-rated.
David Corenswet will blow people the fuck away as Superman.
Yeah, he's just talking up a storm about how good Corenswet is. And I got to be honest with you, the only time I think I've ever seen David Corenswet in anything was Twisters this year. And he had a pretty subdued role in that movie. So I'm excited going into this universe with like a blank slate person who is notable. He is maybe not quite a household name, but he's getting there. I'm very much looking forward to like not having anything projected upon him because I don't know him as anything else.
Yeah, I saw him in some Ryan Murphy stuff with my wife. I think The Politician, maybe, and then he was in that Hollywood show.
All right, both sound terrible.
Yeah, well, it's Ryan Murphy. What do you want?
Yeah. He strikes gold maybe once a decade. With
that Aaron Hernandez show, right? News dump. Also, Supergirl begins filming in January.
Yeah, this is, Gunn's doing some weird shit in DCU, but because he did such a good job with some weird shit in the MCU, we kind of have to let him just do it. There's no real appetite for the Supergirl movie, Supergirl movie, I don't think. But by January, I'm sure I'll be looking forward to it.
News dump. Got a trailer for Creature Commandos. This is hitting Max on December 5th, and this is Spooky Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and because it's animated, I don't know if it's technically canon.
I believe it is. I think it's the first canon. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then I guess I have to be looking forward to it.
It's got Amanda Waller. You love that character.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking can't stand her.
News dump. Also got a trailer. Oh, fuck. I didn't watch this. God damn it. Can you describe it to me? Stranger Things Chapter 2. Oh, no, this is The Strangers Chapter 2. I don't care then. I misread it. Chapter 1 stunk, right?
I haven't seen Chapter 1.
I haven't even found it anywhere either.
With your girl, Madeline Petch.
Yep.
Chapter 2 trailer came out with a coming soon, so we don't even have a date yet.
How they spell coming?
This is one of those movies that at the beginning of the year they said it might come out by the end of the year, but again didn't have a date on it. Yeah, the first movie did not do very well, so I haven't seen it, and I'm simultaneously like looking forward to jumping into these three. It is going to be a 3-part movie, but also annoyed because they already fucking stumbled out of the gate. But I love that original movie from 08, I think it came out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a real love-hate with The Strangers.
News dump. Also got a trailer for Wolf Man hitting theaters on January 17th.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, Goo. I don't know about that Invisible Man movie was such a diamond in the rough in a year that was pretty terrible. It was 2020. There was no real good movies that came out that year. And so I wonder, I haven't gone back and rewatched that movie. Maybe I'll do that. This of course is going to be operating in that same universe. And I'm a little worried that it took 4 years to get the next movie in the universe going.
News dump. Got a trailer for Netflix's The Electric State hitting Netflix, the streamer, on the 14th of March.
Got the Russo brothers, Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, Woody Harrelson, Ke Huy Quan, Anthony Mackie, and Giancarlo Esposito. This is another stars-filled fucking Russo brothers Netflix thing, and I don't know. I don't know why they keep doing this. I'm a little intrigued by this premise and this
because Chris Pratt has long hair,
and by this like dystopian sci-fi setting, which I'm always kind of in on.
Yeah.
But this is not going to be good, right? The trailer didn't.
No, you always feel, even when you look at a Netflix trailer, that they're going to cut a corner somewhere.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
Not Wendy's, though. Their hamburgers are squares.
It's true. Even the Krabby Patty one.
Dave Thomas said, we don't cut corners around here.
Have you had a Krabby Patty yet?
No, I heard it's just a cheeseburger, though.
Yeah, I think it's just a regular Wendy's.
You know what I had over the weekend? The first time in many of years. If anyone is native to the Massachusetts area, Saugus, Arlington, went to Jimmy's Steakhouse. Had myself a crab meat pie.
Yeah,
Haven't had one in a long time.
They also own Grassfields.
In Lexington.
Same family, same company. Yeah. I think Grassfield's technically Waltham.
Is it?
I want to say, yeah, it's right on the line right there. But yeah, Jimmy's is better than Grassfield's, but I do like Grassfield's. I'll tell you this:
Yeah.
best rice pilaf from a chain
Jimmy's.
restaurant I've
Yeah.
ever had from Jimmy's and Grassfield's. Incredible rice pilaf.
Agreed. I did a surf and turf,
Mm.
half crab meat pie, half of a prime rib.
Oh, all right. Were you able to pick the cut of steak?
That was a prime rib.
It was just locked in prime rib.
There's a locked-in prime rib. I said, yeah, I'll have a prime rib.
All right, sure.
When I see prime rib, I almost never crave a prime rib, but when I see it on the menu, I'm like, fuck, yeah, sure.
Can I be honest with you?
It's always a specialty, so.
This is what I was realizing the other day.
Yeah.
I have not eaten a lot of steaks this year, and I think that's in part because I don't know if I'm ever going to have a steak as good as the Wagyu I had in Hawaii.
You think it tainted it?
And it has. There's been the couple steaks that I have had. I'm like, this is okay. Like, I don't want to pay fucking $35 for this. Like, just not worth it to me.
I should have told you that Dom's Sausage down the street, I think last weekend, had Japanese Wagyus for sale.
Oh boy, so good. I would buy it and try to cook it. I'd be worried I wouldn't cook it appropriately.
He's gonna sear 3 minutes on each side. You're fine.
Yeah, it wasn't even that long when I had it out in Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Yeah, Hawaii.
Is that when you went on the Gilligan's Island tour?
Yeah. They wouldn't let you off the bus until you said it like that.
News dump. Also got a trailer for Dune Prophecy. This is hitting Max in November. They did the voice, and I'll tell you right now, this is off the back of the Pinguino there. I am loving these giant blockbuster movies, these great films that are filling in some spaces with television shows.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, I think, because there has to be the appetite for the world building, and you sort of need to have it written out the way it is.
Did you want a Sophia Falcone show?
No, of course I didn't.
Let me ask you now, do you love it?
That's all I want. That's all I can get is Kristen.
Do you want
Milioti.
Kristen Milioti to beat you up?
Oh my God, fucking tie me up. I was so jealous of Johnny Vitti this last episode. That's all I want. I think that there's now an appetite for these things but there has to be a lot of previous legwork, right? So Dune, there's a million books. Batman, there's a million comics.
But also, don't do too much. Don't do what Marvel did. Just don't do too much.
Sure. No, I agree. And I think there's a difference between Max quality shows and Disney Plus quality shows.
Yes.
But one a year, sure. One a year works, and it doesn't oversaturate things. And I'll tell you, if you can get me to care about Oswald Cobblepot's right-hand man in fucking Sophia Falcone, I guess I love everything you're going to touch.
News dump. Also off the back of that, Dune news is that The Batman 2 and Dune 3 will not be filming at the same time. Batman 2 is 2025, and Dune 3 is 2026, meaning that Greg Fraser can work on both movies as cinematographer.
We've talked about this a couple times now, and Matt Reeves, the director of The Batman, and Denis Villeneuve, the director of the Dune franchise, has utilized Greg Fraser in both movies, and he's fucking absolutely crushed the visuals in both movies. And so it was going to be maybe not a detriment, but something that would be on the viewer's mind going into whichever one he wasn't able to do. So we're very, very happy that he's going to be able to cover both.
News dump. Here's the Stranger Things news that I thought was up there, and that is David Harbour said that Stranger Things, the series finale, is the best episode they've ever made.
So don't set me up to hate you, David Harbour. We're in an age where everyone's gassing everything, every project they're doing. He said when reading the script for the series finale, which who knows, I don't know if it's going to be 20 minutes or 2 hours. He said about halfway through, people started crying. Then the last 20 minutes, it was just uncontrollable crying. I mean, that didn't happen.
That's like every episode of Mac and Goo, though.
I mean, so maybe people had like watery eyes, but there was no uncontrollable crying going on during a script read when you still haven't even shot the thing. Maybe the last day on set, sure, why not? Don't fuck with me, David Harbour. Come on.
I don't know. I cried 3 times during the Wild Robot, so I'm not gonna fucking.
Wild Robot had a couple good moments, a couple real good
The
moments.
robot was teaching a duckling how to fly.
You know what that yeah,
Come
that's
on.
a great scene.
Come on, guys.
I laughed out loud when the duck was trying to swim too. That was
Oh,
good
yeah,
stuff.
that was good.
But you know what the Wild Robot did really well is it had like 2 different stories and wrapped them up both within the same movie really
Yeah.
well and gave us both rising and falling actions twice. They just did a great job in that movie.
Yeah, loved it. I loved it. News dump. Speaking of, I guess we'll get to this in a second here, but yet another horror remake or reboot, a Carrie television show is in the works at Prime with Mike Flanagan as the executive producer, says Deadline.
So I guess maybe since Flanagan's attached to the project, that helps it. But you know, this appetite we're talking about for having this big world building in these large IPs like Batman and Dune. You know what I don't have an appetite for is all of these 70s and 80s classic horrors getting brought back and just getting completely butchered or adding lore that doesn't need to be added. I'm over it. I'm completely over it, Goo.
Speaking of horror remakes / sequels / reboots, news dump. Luca Guadagnino is set to direct a new adaptation of American Psycho at Lionsgate. This, of course, also from Deadline. I do not like that.
So Guadagnino has had very good critical success over the last handful of years. So sure, maybe he's going to direct a good movie. If there's a list of movies you would make to never be remade, American Psycho would be pretty high on the list. Like outside of the early classics and some ones that you just wouldn't be able to make today, why would you want to remake American Psycho, which is only 24 years old right now? It's not that old. It was made this millennium.
I'd rather make American Psycho 2, the remake to that, which starred Mila Kunis and William Shatner.
Sure.
Give me that one instead.
Yeah, why not?
News dump. Chick-fil-A Play. Oh, they should call it Chick-fil-A. This is the Chick-fil-A streaming service, but go ahead.
Did you like my headline? You know, instead of steaming hot chicken, streaming hot chicken.
I missed that, but that's a good explanation 22 minutes into the episode. That is going to launch on November 18th. The service will launch with a collection of original animated shows, scripted podcasts, cooking shows, and interactive stories. This sounds terrible.
Insane. I'll tell you, Goo, as two middle-class aging white men who have a podcast, I think you and I both agree that one of the stupidest things that has come out of this whole podcast boom is the scripted podcasts. No one needs these. No one wants these. What they end up being is like television shows that couldn't get made, so they fucking get turned into these scripted podcasts. If there wasn't an appetite for it to be on TV to get canceled after a season, there's no appetite for it to end up in podcast form. I guess there's no real harm in that, but on top of scripted podcasts not being anything anyone wants, you're telling me Chick-fil-A is going to be producing scripted podcasts? Come on now.
2 things. First off, I feel like Fryer listens to scripted podcasts.
Fryer would be the exact type that would listen to that.
But also, as someone who I love old shit. I love theater of the mind.
Yeah.
I love, you create sound effects, you tell a story while you're doing it. Old radio serials.
You and Martin Scorsese, same people.
I once did a Doc Savage play on my own. I voiced all the characters. I got the tin foil out and I banged on it for thunder and whatnot.
Yeah.
But no, I don't listen to these.
No. And we're not the most artsy people, but we can sniff farts every once in a while.
I just talked about doing radio plays.
I know,
yeah, Mac, I know.
That's what I'm talking about. And if we're not into scripted podcasts, who is? Who is?
I also wrote my own one time. It was about a haunted mansion and 2 vacationers who went there.
Wow. Sounds like every scary movie ever.
Only to be discovered by aliens. That was the twist.
Wait, what? The aliens discover them in the haunted house, or they discover aliens in the haunted house?
I don't know, man. News dump!
Sounds like a Mac v. Goo that you put together.
I'm not a good writer. Pinguino Minuto. I am only halfway through this episode.
Ooh.
I had an early morning, so I had to
Mhm.
sleep early. I watched 25 minutes on the Stairmaster this morning. A great
Nice,
way to
nice.
pass time, I'll tell you that much.
Sure, sure.
But I was excited when I saw the, hey, Sophia, it's kind of odd that your family's dead and you're not dead.
Yeah, our favorite character from the Batman.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name. I don't know the actor's name, but the police chief with that voice pops up in this episode. So that's
Hey,
a nice
Sophia,
little
you're
nod.
barking up the wrong tree.
There's a couple things that happened that I guess have kind of spoiled for you since you're looking at it right now. But
Mm.
uh, we have, I believe, 3 episodes left after this, and now the plot is like in motion. They're over the character building and the backstories, and now shit's about to happen. And I'm so excited for it, and I am really, really looking forward to these final 3 episodes.
News dump. Agatha All Along. Mac, we are now. What episode was that?
That was episode 5 as well, or
That might have been
6?
episode 6.
Might have been 6. So I think we
Okay.
have 2 left here.
I have now fallen
Uh,
asleep during 5 of the 6 episodes.
Should be called Maximoff All Along now. Heyo,
Oh,
heyo.
I get it.
If you're not watching this show and if you want a reason to watch it, there's Wanda stuff tied into this, and I think we're heading. And don't get me wrong, it's very intriguing right now. Argue what you want about what has taken place so far. What's about to happen, I'm pretty intrigued by. It feels like we're getting Wanda's return at the end of this, right? Isn't that what we're kind of trending towards here?
After waking up and rewatching, I believe that they're just really they're getting to the Young Avengers. I think they're trying to get there after the next big Avengers movie.
Okay. All right. So you think that Billy is wanting to use the Witch's Road to get Tommy back? Is that the end game here?
But I also question, is Tommy, because so Billy is able to do this, I feel, because he's a mind person.
Sure. Right. So
Tommy's
that's
a
why he was able to
speed guy.
project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tommy's
Yeah.
a speed fella. So I don't know if
Yeah.
he's able to do that.
Yeah. I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
Oh, did I ask you last week about were you excited to see Ralph Boner?
You know what? I'm glad they brought him back because I like what the fuck is his face, Evan Peters.
Yeah.
Big fan of him in general. The whole Ralph Boner thing just makes me, it just still bothers the shit out of me. But I guess they have fleshed that out a little bit more. I do like that he's like a conspiracy theorist now. Like that works well for the character. I like most of what this show has done, and I'm not going to pretend that like this show had any chance of being 40 dogs, but it's been about the best it could have been, I think. So if that's a
Put that
reason
on
for
the
you to go
poster.
watch, go for it.
Put it on the DVD cover. As good as it could be.
Like if you're talking about all the Marvel shows we've watched, what are there, 12 now or something?
Yes.
It's probably smack dab in the middle.
Yeah. News dump. All right. Thank you for listening to this dump. Once again, check us out this week at Idle Hands Craft Ales, 89 Commercial Street, Malden, Massachusetts, for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia trivia. We've already given you one of the answers, and here's another one. Danny DeVito. He plays Frank.
There you go. You just got 2 points.
Tell us the actor who joined the show in season 2 and helped it from getting canceled. Because they were about to get canceled after season 1. They had to bring in a big name star, and Danny DeVito's daughter was a huge fan of the show and showed him some episodes.
I got to admit, my first watch through, it was very distracting to have Danny DeVito on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then like once you just get used to sitting in the room with him, it works so well.
What season did you jump into the show for?
So when we did that episode with Toucher,
Yeah.
what was that, 2015 or
14?
No, that was later.
No, you're
than
right.
that.
17. Yeah.
So I had seen episodes but never consistently watched.
Yeah.
So what was that? Season 10 or 11? And that, I think it was season 10 or 11.
Might have been 10.
I watched all. I got caught up on Always Sunny in about 5 weeks. I watched 10 seasons of that show in 5 weeks.
I think I started watching the show regularly in season 3, like the start of season 3. So I got into it before everybody. What else? Oh, end of the week. Substance.
It is. If you don't mind being grossed out a few times, watch the movie. There's some delightful scenes in this movie.
Mhm.
If you're into Max Rax at all, that plays up.
Yeah.
If you just like genuinely good acting, also very, very nice job from the two leads. And I think we can agree, we talked about it briefly. Dennis Quaid made the shit out of some Lemonade in this
Also, the
movie.
way that they shot Dennis Quaid
Yes.
with, like, the
Yep.
fisheye.
I'll tell you, the
Yeah.
cinematography was unbelievable in this movie.
I'm also so disappointed that this is no longer a unique view, but I was watching the review done by Jeremy Jam. He does them on YouTube. He does like the movie reviews.
Jeremy Jam is from Pawnee.
So Jeremy John, then maybe Jeremy John. I don't
Sure.
know. Either way, there was another reviewer that made the same comparison I did, and now the wind is out of my sail.
Yeah, I think when you start trying to compare it to movies, though, there's like a 3 or 4 that are going to come to mind that you're like, oh, it's sort of a love child of these
Requiem
things.
for a Dream meets The Fly, kind of.
Yeah, with a couple other things in there. And I feel like they paid homage to a couple movies as well.
Mm. So check it out at the end of the week because we love. Do we love it? You'll find out. There we go. News.